Hello and welcome back to another episode of Coming Distractions. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host today, Tiara.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back to talk about Season 7 of Game of Thrones.
Enemies to the east. Enemies to the west. Enemies to the south. Enemies to the north. Whatever stands in our way, we will defeat it. We're the last Lannisters. The last ones who count.
I was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms. And I will.
Okay, so Game of Thrones this season. You have watched the series twice because you're a maniac.
You're judging me, man.
Yeah, just openly. Yeah, I feel like that's okay. So, all right, so I love Game of Thrones. I finally got on board a couple of years ago. I love it. You clearly love it.
Yes.
You're all about it.
Yes.
This season is one before the last. This season, unlike the previous ones that were 10 episodes, this one was only 7 episodes. What did you think of this season overall? By the way, we're going to get into spoilers, but don't get into spoilers right this second.
This is my favorite season.
Okay, wow, all right, that's high praise.
Because I think, well, they cut out like a lot of like the fat they've used for the story building for other seasons. So it was a lot faster paced, and I don't think we really needed to learn much more about these characters than we learned in the finale. And also like that we got like all of the reunions that we haven't seen in years.
Yes, there were a lot.
And dragons.
Lots of dragons. So if you had to score this season out of 5, what's your score?
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Okay.
Yes.
That's fair. So I don't know that I would say that this is my favorite season. This is probably my second favorite season though. Season 6 was my favorite. Because the Battle of the Bastards is one of the best, like just one of the best moments in the series. Also, episode 10 with Cersei sort of getting her revenge, with against all the religious nutbags, was a personal favorite of mine, for many reasons. But this season was really good. I like the fact that it was only 7 episodes, because it helped to get the pace moving. I probably would have preferred even maybe 8 episodes, but I don't think it needs 10. I think you're right about this idea of just sort of rushing along and just not waiting, right? And just kind of getting to it.
Yeah, because like in previous seasons, we were like with this kind of storyline that he told this season, if this was like season 3 or 4, we would have spent maybe like half the season of them just planning to go to like the Wall or to meet Cersei. Whereas like with this one, it was just episode after episode after episode, we got to see something new. Whereas like in other seasons, they kind of like just dragged out a bit, which is necessary because we're now getting the payoff for that.
Okay, so if I had to give a score for this season, I would probably go with a 4.5 out of 5. It's got some pretty great moments, which we'll get into. It's got one of the things the season lacks until the finale is in Game of Thrones, you never know who's going to die. And in this season, no one really died until the end. And you were like, oh, all right, well, that fucker had it coming. But there were, the previous ones, you're like, oh, I don't know. And then like episode 4 randomly just like stab a main character. And you're like, oh, that guy is totally dead. So that was a bit of a surprise. I have to say the Beyond the Wall episode I could watch a movie just about that. Like that felt like a Lord of the Rings movie. So I
think like with some of the deaths, the way that a couple of deaths came kind of surprised me. We'll get into that a little bit later. But I think at this point with Game of Thrones, I don't think I'd really be surprised about who dies because the show kind of tells
wrapping.
Yeah, it's wrapping up. So if anyone dies, would it really surprise you at this point?
I think some of the deaths or potential deaths will just make me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, no, I like that person.
Yeah, but it's Game of Thrones. No one is safe.
No. So it's like, you know what Game of Thrones is to me? It's like watching Saving Private Ryan. Like, you're like, oh, I really like that character. Bam, just got his head blown off. Like, you just don't know. Like, everybody dies.
I've never seen that.
Oh, all right. Oh, you're like 12. That's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all right, let's talk a little bit of spoilers for this season because obviously it's a season recap, so we would be remiss if we didn't. How fucking cool is it to see an ice dragon destroy a wall? That was one of the highlights of the season. For me.
Man, I'm not sure if that was my highlight. I think my highlight was probably just getting the ice dragon. Period. Like watching Viserion die brought joy to my heart.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, here was the unfairness of that series is like, the good guys have 3 dragons, and the other guys, they don't have any dragons.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an easy fight. Oops, no, not really.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
It was cool to see the wall finally come down.
Yes.
But, I do have, questions about that, because in previous seasons, they've established that the children of the forest who helped create the wall, they purposely created the wall so that way it's magical and that the White Walkers can't come near it. So it makes me wonder why Viserion was able to kind of come near it and bring part of it down.
Huh.
So I hope they kind of get into that. Yeah. And also, we still don't know a lot about the White Walkers themselves and why they are the way they are. We know that the Children of the Forest created them. But we don't know a lot about the Night King, but I assume we'll probably get into that in the last season.
Of course. I'm trying to think some other highlights. Obviously, the Beyond the Wall episode, again, was awesome. There's nothing cooler than watching a one-eyed old man light a sword on fire to fight zombies.
Yeah, man.
Which sounds like the most insane sentence I've ever said, but it was badass. That
flaming sword, I actually forgot they brought that in one of the earlier seasons, season 4 or 5. So I totally forgot about it until this season. Yeah. But I can see that all the time.
That shit was awesome, man. That was to me, I think, probably the highlight of the season in a lot of ways, just because that episode was incredibly well done. Yeah. It was just incredibly well done. I do so the other big part of this whole season, the big arc is Jon Snow coming into his own. And he's he's the super badass. He's clearly the main character at this point, and has been really since last season too. And then him finally linking up with Daenerys. Yeah. In more ways than one of which is unacceptable. Yes. My social graces.
Yes to the cess. Yes.
Gross.
Yes to all of it. Well, I read something.
Not okay with that, guys.
I am.
Tiara statements are not your expressed comments are not in line with TMP Studios' views on incest whatsoever.
So, I know some...
And Carrie in the background cheering on the incest. Gross.
So I actually know some people who were...
Also Terrence cheering on.
Who were Sansa fans. Jon and Sansa fans.
I don't like that.
And that grossed me out. That grossed me out.
Wait, them together? But
hold on, let me finish. So that grossed me out at the very beginning until I started seeing Jon and Daenerys, and I was like, I think I may be okay with a little bit of incest.
I do feel like I wish there was a second camera showing the people behind the camera just expressing their
levels of incest.
Yeah. No, there's not. But the thing is, like for me, the show literally has been soft pedaling incest since day one. They're just incest. I mean, is it bad?
Episode.
Is it and they just kind of just been slow rolling, and you're like, this is really disgusting, and you're like, all right, we're in season 5. Is it? I mean, maybe it's okay.
But Daenerys is a product of incest.
Yeah, I know, and that's also not okay.
And if you remember back in season 1,
that's why she can't have kids. Okay. I bet that's probably something they deal with.
They mentioned it 4 times in the last 2 episodes. I can't have kids. Yeah. Who told you can't have kids? The woman who murdered my husband? Yeah. We'll see about that tonight. Okay. Yeah. But
she better not have one of those she better not have a snow baby, because that's gross.
I hope that baby comes out breathing fire.
with a Valyrian steel sword in its hand.
But even Daenerys thought she was going to marry her brother in the first season, when he looked at her naked body and was like, you have a woman's body now. So that kind of just tells you she's used to it.
Look, George R.R. Martin is fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Can we just state that for the record? That dude wants to sleep with his sister.
Yeah. And
I'm just saying. I don't even know if he has a sister, but if he did, he's really into that type of porn. He's really into it.
Have you seen his high school photo? He looks a tiny bit like Kit Harington with the hair, but he just looks like a creepier version. So.
I believe that, and he now looks like Captain Chesapeake, so it's fine, whatever. So I do like that they're kind of season 7 is cool with like all the culminations, right?
Yeah.
Meeting again with Robert Baratheon's son. I can't remember his name. Gendry, thank you. And like that was a cool moment in the series because it was just like, oh shit,
he hasn't been around since like season 3 or 4.
Right. It's like, oh shit, like our dads fought together. Like now we're gonna fight together. Like I thought that was kind of a cool moment.
Do you think he'll be legitimized by whoever wins the throne? Because now he's still a bastard. But he's the only Baratheon left.
I could see that. I could totally see that. I need more scenes of him next season, like beating people with a warhammer, because I enjoyed that. Like him killing that dude on the beach was awesome.
Yeah, that
was great. What's the? Because you know all the names. I'm just like short dude, tall dude, guy with a suit on.
Yeah.
Who's the? Damn it. Trying to think. Who's the guy who had like the dragon scale fucking shit? Jorah. It was cool seeing him come back too.
Jorah the friend zone.
Yeah, that dude just can't get out of the friend zone.
Boy,
that dude got dragon scale. He had to go off. They put him in a little fucking leper colony. He had to go across the world. He came back and he was like, "I'm back."
Banished twice and came back twice.
Yeah, and he's like, "I'm back, girl. What's up?" She's like, "Nah, I'm into my cousin now or my nephew." Like
at the end of the episode of Beyond the Wall, where Daenerys is waiting for Jon to come back, and Jorah's like, "Come on, girl, it's time to go back." And she's like, no. I know he got so mad when he saw Jon come back.
He was like, damn, I thought he was going to die.
Yeah, or how he was like, Daenerys, I think you should fly to the north instead of sailing on a boat with Jon. And
yeah. She was like, nah, son, I'm gonna try to fuck this dude on this boat.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what she wanted. But Daenerys is also really coming to her own as well, right? There's a couple moments of like, I kind of see her going a little crazy.
Yeah, so it's good that she has Tyrion there to kind of check her. I think the only thing I didn't like was that she burned Dick on Tarly.
Dick on Tarly. Worst name ever.
And Randall Tarly, he was on some like make Westeros great again type of shit. So he was fine. But Dickon, I did think that Tyrion had a point where at least like the son could have been chained up.
Yeah, you destroyed their house.
Well, Sam is still alive. Sam is their brother.
Right.
So
That's right.
Sam was alive. But the other two, Otherwise, I really didn't have a lot of issues with Daenerys this season. Not even with the whole, bend the knee to me thing. I was like, yeah, okay, I will ask.
No, I mean, it was valid. I kind of like Jon Snow, nah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That I cannot do.
Yeah, but then he ended up doing it anyway. And I think that's going to cause some problems in season 8 with the other Northerners.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted, speaking of the Northerners, I like Sansa's arc in this season.
Yeah,
it's really good. And Sansa, in a lot of ways, we'll get into theories as to how the series ends at the end. But Sansa, in a lot of ways, has picked up some of Cersei's kind of ways. Like, she literally is wearing her hair like Cersei did in the first season. And I was just like, that's kind of a cool arc for a girl who's just like, I just want to be a princess.
Yeah.
To rape. Now she's just like, we need to burn all these people. Fuck that. I'll run this shit while you're gone. Which is a cool character arc for her.
So one of my other favorite parts about this season was seeing Sansa and Arya come back together, because we haven't seen them together since season 1.
Yeah.
And if you go back and watch season 1, they are so young. Like, they
look like they're 8.
Yes. And to see them now, and they're older and they've been through so much, and then you kind of think about it, the more things change, the more they stay the same, because Sansa always wanted to be the lady of something. She always still liked nice things, and she still does. I mean, you see how her wardrobe is now really regal and things like that. And Arya is a murderer, but she's always wanted to be a knight and someone to go into battle. Yeah. So to kind of see them come back together but have more respect for each other, I thought that's really good writing.
Yeah, no, it was cool. That was a scene I was I got a little choked up when they fucking saw each other. I was like, oh, they haven't seen each other since they were 9 years old.
Now, did you buy that whole rift between them?
I think that was Arya sort of kind of testing the waters, right? Because she hasn't seen Sansa again since season 1, and the last time she saw her was you marrying this dude, you got our dad got killed and all this other shit. Can I trust you? And it turns out you can. But I like that. I like that dynamic. I like that they didn't just get back together and then just high five and then just move on.
Right. They still had, you can tell there was still a lot of tension between them.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not okay. My one criticism about this season is the setup with Littlefinger, because even though I just rewatched,
Oops.
So even though I rewatched the entire 7th season in like a day, I'm still not
You're
sure.
such a maniac. Go ahead.
I'm still not sure where the setup began. But I also read yesterday that there was a scene that was cut from the finale, and it was between Sansa and Bran, and Sansa's like, "I need to ask you something." So I think you can assume that's when she asked him, like, can you go back and see what Littlefinger did? But I think I would have liked to see it, because I still don't know, like, what was real between Sansa and Arya and what wasn't.
Right, because there wasn't any. I mean, look, there are, spoiler alert, Littlefinger gets his fucking throat cut by Arya,
Yes.
which was awesome.
Finally.
Look, Carcetti had to die.
Yeah.
But he was a terrible mayor of Baltimore. But one of the things, like, you don't really, I mean, there are plenty of reasons why he should have died, right? Like, throughout the entire series, one of which is wiping cum off a woman's face and then telling her to go kiss a dude, which was awful. That happened in season 1, guys. I don't know if you remember, but
everything.
I literally can't get that out of my brain. It was a horrible moment in the show. But there are many reasons why he should have died. But in this season, there wasn't like a definitive, like, oh, that's where you fucked up moment. And I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, and where he overplayed his hand was where he helped Sansa come to the conclusion that Arya wanted to be the Lady of Winterfell. And I'm like, nah, like, Arya has never had an interest in being a lady of anything. Only thing Arya wants to do is stab people. She's wanted that ever since she was a little girl.
Yeah,
so that's
like,
where,
I'm just here for the murder, dude. Like, that's what I want to do.
And like, my favorite part of the finale was where you have Arya in the Great Hall and she's surrounded by all these dudes in armor. And I'm like, I think Arya can take all these people out if she needed to.
Yeah, like, yo, that little girl is scary, dude. She's a terrifying human being.
Yeah.
I did like, speaking of Arya, I love that scene where she meets back up with Brienne and they're like, she's like, oh, let me show you, just show you a little something I can do. Right. And I was like, yo, this fight is fucking awesome.
Yo, Brienne got so mad and kicked that little girl in the chest.
Like, yo, I'm 7 feet tall. Get the fuck out of here.
But speaking of like reunions, I really love the finale. Like, so seeing all those characters back together again, then you realize, like, it's been years since they've shared scenes together. So like, the finale was the first time, the finale was the first time where Cersei and Tyrion had a scene together since season 4.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm. Because
that's when he left.
Yes, when he left, because he was about to get killed by Tywin.
Well, then he murdered Tywin.
Right, then he murdered Tywin
on the toilet.
Right, or you have the Mountain and the Hound, and seen together since like season 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So
I like their reunion. Like, yeah, I don't give a fuck what you are. I'm coming for you, dude.
Right.
Like,
or like Brienne and Jaime, who have been together since like season 3. So seeing those little reunions together, and then seeing, especially between Jaime and Brienne, and they're sharing a look, and then Cersei's like looking at them like the way like your girlfriend sees your ex or whatever.
Oh, you just want to be with this big ass bitch? All right, fine.
So
you don't want to fuck your sister no more?
Right. So I loved all of that. And then of course, like, Cersei and Daenerys meeting for the first time. Like, I know Cersei was mad when Daenerys came in flying on a dragon.
Yo, that shit was disrespectful. Like, oh, she's late for the meeting. Let me just show up on a dragon and just show my power. It was like,
then Cersei's like, we've been waiting for some time. I'm like, bitch, you just got there.
Stop lying.
Like, you're just mad because she has a dragon and you don't.
Yeah, basically. So here's a little side note that I found out on Twitter that I didn't realize. So what's Jaime's homeboy who saved him from getting Bronn? So apparently the actor who plays Bronn and Lena Headey used to date. Yeah. And so they have in their contracts to never share a scene with each other.
Right. And the thing is, they dated like 15 years ago.
No, they fucking hate each other. And that scene, it's like, okay, we're all together. And Ron's like,
let's go get a drink.
He's like, let's go get a drink. And he just fucking bails on the scene, like, gotta go.
Because otherwise, like, because I would say, like, why is Bronn leaving? Bronn should be there with everyone else since,
Nope.
He was there when those dragons came.
No, he was like, I gotta go. Like, well, in my contract, it says, I can't be here.
Yeah, and I liked when Tyrion, told Jon, it was like, you need to learn how to lie. When Cersei was like, so I need you to also stay out this war between me and Daenerys, and you can't take a side. And Jon is like, nah. Yeah, but I told Bae,
Look,
that I got to stick up for her too. And then Tyrion and everyone is like, yeah, bro, we're glad that you're going to be honorable, but my dragon died for us just to come here. So can you just lie to her for a second?
Yeah. Not only that, it's like, how do you think your dad got his head cut off?
And he even
by
said
being
it.
honest, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then Cersei turns around and is like, yeah, no, we're cool. And the second they leave, like, man, I was lying. Get the fuck out of here.
And
who am I, Jon Snow? No.
They should have known that was all bullshit.
Of course. And I'm sure they probably do.
Right. So do you think Cersei's child gets born? She's pregnant.
Okay, again. So that is a perfect time before I answer that question. That is a perfect time to make a deviation and say we are going to give our predictions for what happens in season 8. So right now, I don't think the child is born. Even if it is, I have a prediction that Jaime is the one who kills Cersei.
Yeah,
I think Jaime is going to kill Cersei. However, I also think that there is a decent... Well, I think Jaime is likely to kill Cersei, but if that doesn't happen, I think there is a decent chance that Brienne kills Jaime. Because the entire show is all about saying, who can kill this other person that you're like, no, but that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Brienne is in love with Jaime, it's clear, but there's going to come a time... Because, I mean, she even has that interaction with him like, fuck loyalty, dude. This shit doesn't make any sense. And I have a feeling that might blow over.
But I like Brienne and Tormund.
Look, she needs to kill Jaime so that she can be with her Viking boyfriend.
Well,
so they can have giant babies that rule the world.
I think Jaime kills Cersei too. But I think they die like in a murder-suicide. So I feel like it has to end that way.
Do you think if Jaime kills Cersei, do you think he just clubs her with that giant golden hand? Like, because that's, I think, would be...
get sick of her one day.
Just shut up. Dumb.
Yeah, I think I don't know how he'll end her. I feel like he'll end her by like stabbing her through the stomach because it's the show.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe he doesn't want, because if that baby is born, then it starts the cycle of you're the heir to the throne. These people took your thing, and that could be the way to end it, right? Yeah. Which is the Game of Thrones as it goes never ends, right? The cycle continues, which would be kind of cool, right? I don't think at the end of the day, I don't think Daenerys sits on that throne by the end of the series.
Who do you think does?
I think it's going to be Sansa.
Why? Because
I think that's a good character arc for her, right? Which is she does something in the end that's slightly Cersei-like and a little brutal. Jon ends up being king of the North. Mm-hmm. She ends up taking King's Landing. She gets to be the princess that she's always wanted to be, a better ruler than Cersei, but has that fucking edge about her.
So what happens to Daenerys?
Stab. Somebody's gonna end it, dude.
Jesus.
Look,
I don't want her to die.
Look. I could see Daenerys, honestly, I could see the way Daenerys has been. I could see Daenerys like getting the throne, and then I could see her like kind of going a little Mad King, and then what's name orchestrate some shit. What's the fucking bald dude with no dick?
Varys?
Yeah. I mean, look, what did he say to her? Like, I'm not there for the queen. I'm there for the people. If you fuck us over, I can see it, man. Absolutely.
We only have 6 episodes left. I don't see Daenerys' character going that way. Not at this point in the game. I don't know.
Who do you think sits on the Iron Throne at the end? See, I don't think Daenerys is... I don't think it's so easy to say that.
I can't... I don't think it's Daenerys. And I'm not completely sure if it's Jon. Or maybe both of them rule. I don't know. I definitely think Daenerys is going to get...
Ew, is like king and queen of incest? I mean, it's not like it's not going on now.
I mean, like, Tywin Lannister married his first cousin. Yeah, so, I mean...
So did Rudy Giuliani. That's true.
Gross.
So, that's true in real life, guys. That's not even Game of Thrones like he did.
I definitely think Daenerys is going to get pregnant. I don't know if she'll survive.
Is she going to have a regular baby or a dragon baby?
Hopefully a dragon baby.
Half dragon, half snow baby. That's fine.
And, I don't think Jon dies at the end.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
It's going to be something. It's going to be something completely out of left field. It'd be like the Hound. Like,
oh, God.
How?
It's going to be Bran.
That's fine. I am the three-eyed raven. Shut up.
I think as far as like deaths next season, I don't think Tormund makes it.
Oh, he's my favorite character.
I love him, but he's not going to make it. I think the Hound makes it for some reason, and I think Brienne makes it. And I think the Hound will end up killing the Mountain.
Oh, dude, the Mountain's getting his giant head lopped right off.
One thing I also noticed this season between Jon and Arya is that they act and look like Ned. Like this entire season, like with the hair and like the way that they like kind of stand, the way they act. That's just something I noticed. Also for next season, I think Jaime dies. Yeah, I already said that Jaime dies.
Yeah, no, all the Lannisters are toast.
Tyrion.
Ooh, now that's an interesting theory too, right? That maybe Tyrion ends up on the Iron Throne.
No. Mm-mm.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
I mean, his feet can't touch the ground, but like, I like it.
Actually, that would be really fitting if he did end up.
Well, it would, right?
Yeah,
because
it would be. Yeah.
Because his, again, like character arcs are really important in this series.
Yeah.
And the idea of someone who had been completely rejected by his house and all this shit then ends up like they're, the fucking Starks are like, look, dude, you take this shit. You know it better than anybody.
Yeah.
You take it. We trust you.
And that's why I'm not so sure about Jon, because I don't think Jon wants it. I don't think he wants it. No. And I'm not sure. Like, so with Daenerys, right? So Daenerys has been through a lot just to get to Westeros. Yeah. But I'm not sure if she wants it because she feels like she's supposed to take it or if she really, really wants it.
Well, the way she's burning dudes up with dragons, I feel like she really wants it. So, who knows? But I think Tyrion would be an interesting person to end up on the Iron Throne. I think Sansa would also be interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't know about anyone else. I mean, I don't know. They could just do a complete, like, left...
Gendry. I don't know. Maybe the series ends with another Baratheon on the throne.
Surprise, motherfucker! Like, I don't know. But either way, I am very much looking forward to season 8 of Game of Thrones.
It's going to be a long 18 months before it comes back.
So in the comments, make sure you let us know, what are your theories? Who ends up on the Iron Throne? Who gets killed? Who lives? Who makes it? By the way, I heard an awesome theory that Cersei does have the kid, but the kid comes out as a dwarf. So then she can't deny, like, her shitty kind of ways that she is towards Tyrion.
I can see her killing that baby if it comes out as a dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Tyrion is like, oh.
Oh, the Night King. What's your theory on him? So there is a theory that Bran is the Night King.
I don't know. It seems far-fetched, but at the same time, like, it would be kind of cool. Like, some people also seem to think that he might be a Stark relative, which I think is kind of also interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't know. All I know is I want to see him die, and I want to see Jon murder him.
Oh yeah.
I also would love to see Jon fucking javelin his own sword into that dragon.
Yeah.
And kill it. That would be
awesome. Yeah, he's gonna. I think Drogon and Rhaegar are gonna fuck him up.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. That would be cool. All right, that is it for us. Leave comments, your thoughts on Game of Thrones, what's coming up in Season 8, what you liked about Season 7, and all that other good shit. And we will see you guys next time.
Peace. Bye.